encourage you to look on page 77 and 78. All right. You'll see federal programs, you'll see state programs. All right, you notice those totals are the same. I went in and I added them up again because those totals should not be the same. And you'll see that the total programs are, let's just do it this way, go to page 79. Your total programs less the other programs gives you that 50 million that you see on page 350 in our budget book. And, you know, it does list all the type of grant programs that they receive. And you'll see, you know, ARPA in there and many of the other more pre-COVID grants, including the Alliance Fund.
What you're saying is that you can vouch for what the
Absolutely.
50
It's right
million,
there.
but the school board, the administration can't reconcile that.
Right, they have a number of additional problems. Just go to the page 79.
In the book, in school board.
In the school board.
Yeah, and take 53 minus the 2.6 million.
But I mean, the overall, the larger question is whether between all of these numbers, are the school district needs met if the city passes the budget that's been submitted by the mayor
No.
for review? You're saying there's still a gap.
Yes, no, it's still a gap. If the mayor's budget is what we approve. Is that what you're asking?
I mean, that's the
Yes.
bottom line.
That's
is that,
correct.
you know, many people at the last meeting came and said fully fund the budget.
Right.
What you're saying is even with these state and federal increases, the 4 million offered by the city is still not enough to meet the needs of what's been presented, is what you're saying. And if I may, Mr. Chair, just one more question. So another difference that I found between the school board's book and the city's book is the percentage of local sharing of the total budget. So I think as Mr. Molinaro earlier pointed out to 69%. So if you look at the city's budget book on page 351, that number in the city side is 82.9%. So that's a pretty different story. So am I looking at it the right way, the wrong way? Is there a reason why the school district's computation of local share is 69 and the city's computation of that is 82, which the 82 number is much more kind of closer to the median, I would suspect. So what would be driving a difference in that calculation?
I can answer that. The 82 is based upon the general fund allocation. The number that they're using is a state number that is all in loaded. And it doesn't care about our general fund. It's taking all costs associated with it, with the Board of Ed, and then saying how much of are we funding locally. So that would be, you know, the $116 million of it. So their state's number is higher.
And does that include capital construction costs, or is that just interest, or is that?
I don't think it includes the 10.4 million that we referred to. It probably includes some of that and then other things as well. I don't know, John. Is it taking that in consideration?
Well, I think you said it accurately in the beginning. It's the general fund budget that we're presenting and looking for. That's our ask. There have always been federal programs that have run, and they're flow-throughs. They're not part of what we're asking for.
But it sounds like, and I'll let other people, I don't want to hog the conversation, but when we talk about per pupil spending, what I've seen a lot, and I've looked at this between the board, when I was on the board and here, it's got to be 15 years now, is that a lot of and Danbury's in a pretty unique place relative to the rest of the state that you showed in the graphs, it's declining. I don't know if any other town, maybe Stamford, is increasing as much as we are here. And so most towns are either closing schools, they're consolidating, we're trying to rent their space out, we're continuing to build. And so somewhere between 200 and 250 million, almost $250 million we've spent in the last 20 years in state and federal money. Again, we're state taxpayers as well, so it's not coming from a black hole. And a lot of that is not calculated into the per pupil expenditure calculations that we commonly see. So while it might be true that we're 169. If you were to put in the investment that we have put in as a community for all of the building that we've done and are continuing to do, as we're seeing, I would suspect that that number would be much closer to, much further away from the bottom than we think it is. So I think we should just, when we talk about this, just look at our community as a whole, what we're spending on education. And the operating budget is a very big piece, but we can't discount all of the building that we're doing, hundreds of millions of dollars of building that we're doing. That has to be factored into the